Hey my friends, everyday triathletes, it's Graham, and you're here with me for my 70.3 half Ironman training blog. I thought I'd share with you today exactly how I will have my bike set up for the bike leg of the 56 miles. My running gear, pretty much everything I'll be using. I know a lot of you take a lot of interest in gear, so I thought I'd share with you. So, first of all, I'm going to be using my Cervelo S3 road bike set up very strategically as a very fast semi-quasi tri-bike. Now, a lot of you might wonder, knowing that I have the Cervelo P3, probably the one of the most accomplished time trial bikes in the world, triathlon bikes as well, why I would not use that for this course, and it's an excellent question. The biggest reason I can tell you is that I am very experienced on the Cervelo S3. The Cervelo S3, if you ask me, is probably one of the best bikes ever made. It's very aerodynamic. It's very excellent handling machine. I've heard that the Poconos course is supposed to be quite technical. Lots of lefts, lots of rights, lots of ups, lots of downs. Not the most idyllic road conditions. So for me, it's a no-brainer. If I need to get low, not going to be a problem. I've got attached Aero Bars. I know that's taboo for a lot of you hardcore triathletes, and that's fine. Again, I'm very comfortable actually in my Aero Bars, both on my P3 and on the Cervelo S3. I'm a pretty wide guy, so my major objective is to get as narrow as I can, not necessarily just as low as I can. So although I can get lower on the P3, I can get equally as narrow on the S3 as well. And of course, it gives me the opportunity to descend much faster down in the drops where I'm very comfortable. And of course, if I have to do a lot more riding down in the drops, I can do that for extended periods of time and still produce a lot of power. And I think when it comes to a climbing or technical course, I believe this bike's going to have a distinct advantage. Now, I've got my specialized tri-tip saddle, which is okay. I'm a big specialized saddle guy. I like their toupe saddle, which I have on all of my bikes. It's just a bit too small up to the nose for triathlon. But this saddle has been cutting the mustard for me. Not very expensive, only about $100. I got it pushed up quite a bit. In fact, I'm going to probably move it up another millimeter and a half forward. Gives me a really aggressive position on the front, which I like. I am using compact gearing, as I always do, and that'll be perfect for this course, actually. I'm on a 50-34 rotor Q-rings in the front with a 1126 SRAM cassette in the rear, which really gives me optimal gearing. I'm very dialed in on compact gearing, and although on some really steep fast descents, I may be a little bit under-geared for what's possible. Obviously, you'd want an 1153. The Q-rings, to be honest with you, with the 50 setup in the front, when they're at their longest like they are right now in the power position, you actually are more equivalent to a 52 or 53 anyway. So it evens out. I still challenge anyone to get on a Q-ring, especially in a 50-34 setup, and continue to spin out. And then you have to ask yourself how long that's going on. So I would rather take the advantage of more climbing gears or sustainable power gears than worrying about, how many teeth I've got available. Moving on to the wheel sets. I'm using a Williams System 85 in the front, which I just recently got from Keith Williams. As you know, I'm a big supporter of his products. I believe he offers the best wheel sets in the market today, not just for price, but for quality alone. Ask any of my customers, they are going to agree that I've moved over to Williams. Very aerodynamic in the front, 85 millimeters worth of depth. It is a clincher rim. I need to change out the tire. I'm going to be putting my trustworthy Vittoria Paves on there. I know a lot of you may be like, what are you doing running Paves in an October course? It's in season, but again, this course is supposed to be a little bit itchy, and they've had a lot of rain there, so I'm expecting a lot of different washout potential and potential for potholes, and the Vittoria Paves are the most trusted tire that I own. So I don't mind having them a little bit heavier, a little bit more durable. I'll be running them both back and front. On the rear, I'm running a Williams System 38 custom build with a power tap. A lot of you might be wondering, why am I not running Aero on both front and rear? Well, bottom line is that I don't have a power tap set up right now with an 85. If I did, I would be running an 85 front and rear. But to be honest with you, I still say the Williams System 38 carbon clincher is the best wheel I have ever been on, ever. So I don't mind riding it. It's a very, very compliant wheel, very light, excellent acceleration, and because obviously I'm using a power tap, it actually allows me to even out the bike. So again, you can see the bike itself is very aerodynamic to begin with anyway. The front wheel is going to give me that nice front end aero. And of course, to be honest with you, the bigger deal here is going to be the aerodynamics. Of course, myself, my body position. I'm using a Giro Aerodynamic Helmet with the Advantage 2. You see a lot of the pros wearing this. Good helmet. I can't say I'm overly a huge fan of wearing aero helmets. They're not the most comfortable, and they don't air very well, meaning they can kind of overheat you. Luckily, we're expecting only 60-degree temperatures for the high, so going to be perfect to run that helmet. Ask anyone that knows anything about aerodynamics that your big meat melon head up in the wind causes more drag resistance than anything on the bike. And all the people that build bikes can argue all you want, but your head and the way you position your head is a big deal. So major objective is to stay as low as possible, as narrow as possible, and of course keep my head looking forward, not looking down, because every time you're looking down, that big divot there in the rear, the big fishtail, begins to go up and of course creates more drag. And that does add up over time. I mean, I'm not looking to drop the hammer on this thing and set any world records, obviously, but you do want to conserve as much energy as possible. That's really how you want to think about aerodynamic setup, is how much energy can I conserve on the bike so when I hit the run, I can do much better. Really quick about how I've got the rest of the bike set up. But, you know, as a hardcore roadie, you know, I look at this thing, I was like, ugh, you know, look at how much crap I've had to put on my bike. But let's talk about why. First of all, I'll be using the Camelback Podium Big Chills. These are 25 ounces a piece. That is a big deal. That extra 2 to 4 ounces additional per bottle will allow me to get through the entire 56 miles without having to stop at all to pick up any water or any fuel. At least that's the game plan. These bottles have been used with me for metrics multiple times. I used them for my fastest century this year. Yes, they're heavy. Yes, they're bulky. But again, fueling is absolutely key, because once you hit the run, you know, you can't carry a bottle like this. So you want to have enough fuel coming in during, obviously, the bike leg. I've got my repair kit in the back, all different gear, for the bike itself. Hate to carry it, usually carry it in my back pocket, but when you're in a tri-suit, as many of you know, it stinks to try to carry that stuff in the back of your pocket in a tri-suit. So you want to put it on your bike for sure. This is new for me. This is the Fuel Belt medium box. This allows me to have quick, easy access to fuel that I will have for that day. I've got new stuff coming in from Hammer starting tomorrow. Obviously, I use Hammer for all my things, but I do use chalk blocks along with my Hammer gels, along with my fueling from Hammer. I like to have a little bit of texture coming in. These also have a little bit of caffeine, 25 milligrams per serving. I love chalk blocks. They're like crack for me. I will be using Sustained Energy from Hammer Nutrition. Obviously, you guys know that Hammer Nutrition is a partner of mine. I will have bottle number 1 here with 1 full dose of Sustained Energy. That's 320 calories. Excellent product. Sits very well in my stomach. I will mix that with 1 scoop of Heat to add just a little bit of flavor to it, a little bit more electrolyte balance. I'll have that in bottle 1. Bottle 2, more than likely, will just have pretty much straight water and probably just like a half to a 3/4 scoop of Heat, just to add a little bit of flavor. I'm not expecting to have to douse myself with water. Again, if it was going to be a really hot day, a lot of humidity, I would probably keep 1 straight water bottle because I want to probably douse myself a little bit, but not expecting to do that. In fact, the bigger concern I have for race day for half Ironman Poconos is not the heat and not having to douse yourself to cool yourself off. My concern is it's going to be cool enough where it's very easy to get off your game plan with your hydration. How many times have you been out riding and when the temperature drops at 60 or below, it's so quick to forget to drink on schedule because your body doesn't feel itself dehydrating like it does in the heat. And that is a big deal. In fact, I am calling it right now that many of the athletes this coming weekend for Ironman Poconos are going to get caught out cramping like they haven't before because the temperatures are cooler. By the time they hit the run, if you've got water left in your bottles, you got fueling left in your bottles, more than likely you're going to pay for it in the run. Even though it's been a very cool day, you've still been perspiring and losing a lot of those electrolytes and fluids that need to get replaced. So really important to stay on track with your fueling strategy. But I do plan on sipping, throughout the entire course, about every 15 minutes with the bottle. Probably about every 45 minutes I'll have either a gel. I've got Hammer gels coming back in. Again, I just ran out. That's why I don't have them here in the pouch. And then I'll be alternating that between chalk blocks and Hammer gel during the bike course. Again, I got profile design up here on the front. Actually, I really like these. I've got them lengthened out quite a bit further than I had way back at the beginning of the season when I first got them. I'll be using my Garmin GPS here, my 500, my Garmin 500. I will be using my power meter, yes, for the race. I've been training with my power meter with great success. Yes, I do have a target wattage that I've been testing and training with over the past 2 months. I'm actually able to achieve in a solid metric about 260 watts, which is pretty decent considering my body weight. However, having tested more thorough with longer and longer run brick sessions after, I'm going to be probably targeting about 240, 245 with lower gearing, meaning more tension on the bike than I'm accustomed to. So I've been training over the past 2 weeks, testing what it's like to drop to a harder gear, increase the tension load, and keep a little bit less pressure on my aerobic system. That has been paying off for me in spades on the run. Typically, if I run like I do like a road bike, very high cadences, 95, 100 RPM averages, 110s on the hills, I climb like a demon, but it really gets my heart rate jacked up. And although I'm conditioned for it, when I move to the run, I have been suffering from it. So I've taken some advice from some others, been tensioning down, which I've done a lot of work since off season. I mean, as you guys know, I'm huge into muscular endurance work. It's the number one thing I prioritize in my workouts for you, my workouts for the club, all my videos. Muscular endurance is key. Tensioning down is key. So I've got a lot of background and a lot of confidence in my body to really acquire a big gear, lots of tension without getting my heart rate out of check. Just thought I'd share that with you. Real quick for the run, obviously the run's pretty simple as far as gear goes. I'll be using my trustworthy Saucony Kinvaras. These are the Kinvara 1s. This is now my third set of Kinvara 1s. I've also got a pair of the Saucony Kinvara 2s. I don't like the 2s as much as the 1s. That's why I just bought these ones. These ones are brand new. I don't think I'll be racing the brand new ones for the race as much as I would love to for October with my bright, ugly orange team kit, my bright, ugly orange shoes. I won't be because I have not been able to do enough running in those particular ones to have confidence in them. So I'm probably going to run in my dirty, nasty Kinvara 1s that I've had all season long that I love to death. And those are probably going to be my racing shoes. If you see me at the Poconos, you'll see me walking around with a beer after the race, probably in those ones. But those are the same shoes. I think probably the best shoes ever made. Not only are they great racing flats, you can train in them. I train in them constantly. I've bought so many different training shoes, Newton distance shoes. I've got K-Swiss training shoes. I don't care what I've bought. I keep getting back in the Kinvaras. I'm like, why do I ever buy another shoe? So I've bought as many of these as I can, and with great success. My friends, I hope this has been helpful. I'm running SRAM Force on this bike, not red. I built it that way. Still works great. I actually got to get the cable replaced. My rear derailleur is just sticking on the last 2 gears here. I'm able to shift it, but it's not quite as quick as I want. So I want to make sure your bike is in tip-top order. Again, I have 100% confidence in this rig, the way it's set up. For a lot of you that are questioning, what should I run for my triathlon? The first thing you have to ask yourself is, which bike am I most comfortable and confident with? Number one. Once you figure that out, which bike's going to give me the best advantage based on the description of the course? I think so many triathletes, my personal opinion, get a really high-end triathlon bike without asking those questions. They're just assuming that, hey, I have to be on this really low aerodynamic, uncomfortable machine because I'm a triathlete, so I have to do that. Well, yes and no. I mean, the most important thing is, which bike are you most confident in that builds you the most speed and efficiency to move into the run after? Once you have those answers, then you have your bike. And when it came to looking at the topography for this course, what to expect, this was the gear that I chose. A lot of compromises between them. That way I can really maximize my advantage with aerodynamics, lightness, speed, and performance and confidence. And that's going to give me, I think, a very good day. I will update you a little bit more. If you got any questions, of course, let me know. If you haven't been over to WilliamsCycling.com for his wheels, let him know that I sent you. Hopefully he'll take care of you a little bit better. But these things are fantastic. I always get people asking me about these wheels every time I go to any event, and with good reason. They're just phenomenal wheels, and I can't wait to race on them for my first ever half Ironman in the Poconos. I'll talk to you later.